Okay, everyone, we are at part 2 of our Magical Athlete Tournament. Yeah! So, we have already done our first 4 races. Now we're on to the back half for our second 4 races of the day. Let's see who keeps moving on and who doesn't. Let's get right down to the board and start with race number 5. Okay, we got race 5. And this is another one with a lot of characters I love to play. First up, we got Mouth. What happens with Mouth is if they land on a space with someone else, exactly, only if it's just one other person, they get to eat that person, and that person is out of the race. Skipper, whenever anyone rolls a 1, it goes right back to Skipper's turn. This is one of the most annoying characters to race against. Then we got the Romantic. If anyone stops on the same space as someone else, they get to move 2 forward. And Suckerfish, whenever someone on their space moves, they get to move with them. So we're going to start with Mouth. They got the first player. That is completely cocked, so we will roll again. We got a 5 for Mouth. That's only when Mouth stops on a space, so someone can stop on their space. And we got Skipper. Rolls a 1. They get to go again because the 1 was rolled. It skips right back to them. They get a 3. 1, 2, 3. You can see how this can get really annoying with Skipper. We got the Romantic, gets a 5. Boom. When anyone stops on a space with exactly one other racer, I move 2, which just happened. Mouth and Romantic stopped on the same spot. Romantic moves 2. And the Suckerfish rolls a 4, which puts them on the same space as the Skipper, which moves the Romantic 1, 2. They have a chance of getting eaten by Mouth here. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mouth just goes right over the top of the Romantic. Now it is the Skipper's turn, which moves the Suckerfish with them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all of them are on the same space. That does not allow Romantic to move because there's more than 2 on the same space. That's where things get tricky again. Now it's the Romantic is up, and they roll a 1. The Romantic rolled a 1. Anytime anyone rolls a 1, it goes back to Skipper's turn. So the 5 of Suckerfish never happened, and the 6 of Mouth never happened. So we go back to Skipper. They roll a 1, which is Skipper's turn. Suckerfish is not going to move with them on a 1. And then they get to go 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it is the Romantic's turn. And they get a 1, which then allows the Skipper to go again. And here is Skipper's super annoying power. And they get a 5. Boom. Now it's Romantic's turn again. They get a 2. Now Suckerfish gets to go. They should have gone with the Romantic. I wasn't thinking there. Suckerfish gets a 6. Boom. Mouth gets a 2. Just misses eating the Romantic. And off to the Skipper again. A 2 for the Skipper. The Romantic goes. They get a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Suckerfish gets a 1. So that means it's the Skipper's turn. We skip the Mouth again. The Mouth is getting hurt this game. 4 for the Skipper. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Romantic gets to go. 6 for the Romantic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the Suckerfish trying to catch up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mouth finally gets to go, but they're way behind now. And they only roll a 2. The Mouth does not get to eat anyone this game. We got the Skipper. A 5, and Skipper wins. Skipper with the win. And then we got the Romantic is up. And he's going to re-roll a 3 for the Romantic. 1, 2, 3. Suckerfish needs something big here to have a hope. And they only get a 1. And the Mouth goes. They get a 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we got the Romantic. 6, 1, 2. That is the end of the game. Mouth didn't eat anyone. Oh no! So just a fun story about the Mouth, because some people don't like the Mouth. because they just eat everyone and then they're out of the game. If you get eaten like on the first turn of the game, game moves quick, as you can see though. But something that happened that was so funny with the mouth, one of the last games I played was the mouth was in the same race as the copycat. The copycat copies the power of anyone that's in the lead. The mouth was in the lead, and then the copycat got to use its power, landed on the mouth, and ate the mouth, so the mouth was out of the game, getting eaten with their own power. But they're out of the tournament anyways with Suckerfish. The mouth and Suckerfish are out. And moving on, the two guys that look kind of alike, the Romantic and the Skipper. Okay, so this is a race 6 of 8. And we got, in this race, starting off is Huge Baby. No one can land on their space. If they do, they go behind them. And if they land on someone else's space, they bump the person behind them. Copycat gets to copy whoever is in first place, their power. Centaur, when I pass a racer, they move -2 spots. And the Stickler, another one of those super annoying characters to race against, because you have to finish a race, you have to roll exactly correct. Okay, up first is Huge Baby. Complete miss of the dice tray. And they roll a 5. Good start for Huge Baby. Copycat gets Huge Baby's ability. And it's a 4 for Copycat. Centaur gets a 5. They move. They cannot land on Big Baby's space, so they never move past the Copycat. They end up on Copycat's space, so Copycat does not move back 2 because they never got past. And then we got the Stickler, who gets a 4, and everyone's sitting on space 4, except Huge Baby. Huge Baby goes to space 10. Then we got the Copycat has Huge Baby's ability again. Oh, wait a minute. These guys all had to go back because Copycat had Huge Baby's ability, so they couldn't land on Copycat's spot either before Copycat just rolled this, because they have Huge Baby's ability. So these two end up there. So 5 for Copycat ends up on 9. Then we got Centaur. It's a 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They cannot land on Copycat because Copycat has Huge Baby's ability. Centaur goes there, and Stickler gets a 3. Huge Baby gets a 2. Copycat has Huge Baby's ability, which is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Takes the lead. They have their own ability, so no ability. Centaur gets a 4, which would land on Huge Baby, sends them back 1. Poor Centaur can't pass anyone this race. And the Stickler gets a 2. They're going slow and hoping that their power works out at the end. Huge Baby gets a 2, moves ahead of Copycat, who has Huge Baby's ability right now, but gets a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, loses Huge Baby's ability. Then we got Centaur, who only gets a 1, doesn't get to use their power again. And then the Stickler gets a 3. 1, 2, 3. Huge Baby. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Copycat has Huge Baby's ability for a second. 1, 2, they no longer have an ability. Centaur gets a 2. 1, 2. And Stickler gets a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Huge Baby gets a 1. Boom. And sends Copycat back, who now has Huge Baby's ability, but didn't when Huge Baby landed on him. And then it was a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Copycat. No ability for Copycat. Centaur might pass some people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Centaur passes the Stickler, sends the Stickler back 2. And then the Stickler gets a 3. 1, 2, 3. Huge Baby gets a 2. 1, 2. Huge Baby slowing down at the end. Copycat, no ability, gets a 1. Holy camole, are these guys from the back gonna catch up? The Centaur gets a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't send Copycat back because they're on the same space, but does send Huge Baby back 2 spots. And then Stickler gets a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got Huge Baby. Wants to stomp on some people, but doesn't. 1, 2, 3. Copycat needs to get a 4 exactly to win. They get a 2. 1, 2. Centaur needs a 4 exactly to win. And it's a 6. They can't move. And then we got Stickler. That's cocked. We'll re-roll. A 1 for Stickler. Boom. Lands on Big Baby. Gets sent back. We got Big Baby goes. They get a 2. 1, 2. Sends Centaur back. Then we got Copycat needs a 2 to win. They get a 4. They don't move because of Stickler's ability. Centaur goes. They get a 3. 1, 2, 3. They send Big Baby back 2. And then we got the Stickler. Gets a 2. Stickler has the chance to just go in. They don't have to abide by their own rule. They can just go in on any roll, but they're only rolling 1s and 2s. So we got Big Baby goes and gets a 3. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't squash anyone. Copycat needs a 2. They get a 3. Centaur needs a 2. They get a 3. Stickler can get a 5 or higher. They get a 2. 1, 2. Lands on Big Baby and gets sent back. Big Baby needs a 3. They get a 2. They are now 1 away. And in prime position, if Stickler wins, Big Baby will come in second. Probably. We got Copycat has Big Baby's ability. They need a 2. They get a 3. But they have Big Baby's ability. Nope, they didn't. And so no one can be on their space. So it sends Centaur back, who should have been sent back actually when Big Baby took the lead. Now it's Centaur's turn. They need a 3 exactly. They almost had it. They get a 6. They don't move. And now Stickler. This is why Stickler's so annoying. They get a 3. 1, 2, 3. They can't land on Big Baby. They can't land on Copycat, so they end up on the same spot as the Centaur. Big Baby's up. They need a 1. They get a 6. Copycat needs a 2. They get a 1. They can't move there because Big Baby's there, even though they have the same power. Then we got Centaur. Gets a 2, and they get 1, 2, but then gets sent back because of the huge baby powers. And then Stickler gets a 1 and gets sent right back because of huge baby's power, which is on the Copycat. No one wants to finish this race. We got Big Baby needs a 1. They get a 2. Copycat needs a 2. They get a 3. Centaur needs a 3. That is cocked. They get a 5. A 3 will win it. And finally, Stickler, 1, 2, 3, gets in first. Now it's whoever finishes next wins, which will be Huge Baby, because they have nothing stopping them, and they get a 3. That is a surprise. I did not expect Huge Baby and Stickler coming out of this round at all. I thought the other two were going to, but it is Huge Baby and Stickler moving on. And we will say goodbye to the Copycat and the Centaur. I'm losing a lot of my favorite ones. I love the Copycat because they can take on all those powers in the same race. And when it gets to 5 and 6 player races in the next 2 rounds, that would have been fun to see. Okay, in race 7, second to last race, we got Genius. Genius, before they roll, they can predict what they're going to roll. And if they get that number right, then they get to go a second turn in a row. Or keep going until they get a number wrong. The Magician can re-roll their main roll up to twice. The Dice Monger can let anyone re-roll their main move once per turn. When they do that, they get to move 1. And the third wheel, if there's 2 people on a space, the third wheel gets to be the third wheel and gets to warp directly to their space before they roll their dice. The question in this race is between the Magician and Dice Monger. So what I am going to say, and I think this is the correct ruling, is that the Magician can re-roll twice up to themselves without Dice Monger's power going off. But then if they use a third re-roll, using Dice Monger's re-roll for their third one, then Dice Monger would get the +1 move for them. Okay, we're gonna start off with, the Genius. The Genius is gonna predict that they got a 2. They rolled a 4. No Genius there. Now we got the Magician who can re-roll up to 3 times. That's a cocked one, that doesn't count. That is slightly cocked, but good enough that we're gonna give it a 5. That was not too bad. Dice Monger gets a 3. They're going to re-roll. Their power doesn't count if they themselves re-roll, but they can re-roll if they want to. But unfortunately, you only get a 2 the second time. And then third wheel's power doesn't get to go off because no one's on the same spot, so they roll, and they get a 2. 1, 2. Now we got the Genius. Genius is going to roll, say they're going to get a 3 this time. And they get a 2. Should have stuck with the 2. We got the Magician. Oh, but they're going to re-roll, which allows the Dice Monger to go. They still have the 3 because they just announced it the one time. And they get a 1 this time. Oh, no. Then it's the Magician's turn. Magician gets a 3. They're going to re-roll using their ability. They got a set 2 this time. They're going to use their second re-roll. And then they get a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the Magician. Then we got the Dice Monger. He gets a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then no one's on the same spot again, so third wheel just gets to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to keep that 4. Genius is going to say 5. Oh, they only get a 1. They're going to re-roll, which moves the Dice Monger up 1. Let's have the 5 still, but they get a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we got the Magician. They roll a 2. They're going to use their first re-roll. As 2, they're going to use their second re-roll. A 2, they're going to use Dice Monger's re-roll. And a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it is the Dice Monger's turn. They get a 4. They'll stick with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice second place. Third wheel, still no one on the same spot when it comes to their turn. 1, 2, 3. They're going to stick with that for now and hope that they get a warp up. The Genius is going to do a 1 in case they fall way behind. That is really cocked. We'll re-roll that. A 2 for the Genius. The Magician. A 1. They're going to re-roll their first time. A 4. They'll stick with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Dice Monger gets a 4. They'll stick with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. They didn't want a 5 because then third wheel would warp right to them. And a 1 for third wheel. They will re-roll, which moves the Dice Monger up. Before my main move, I can warp to any space with exactly 2 on it. I think the re-roll makes the main move start over. That makes it wackier at least. And this game's all about being wacky, so they get to move up to a space with 2 exactly on it, and then they get to roll, which is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the third wheel who takes the lead. Genius is going to roll a 2. 3 for the Genius. 1, 2, 3. I keep missing by 1 a lot of these times. The Magician gets to go. A 3. They're going to re-roll their first time. A 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the Magician. Dice Monger. A 3 for the Dice Monger. They're going to re-roll. They only get a 1. No. And the third wheel, no power for them, but they get a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. From last to first, we got the Genius. There's a 1. And they get a 3. Then we got the Magician. They can win it here. A 3, they're going to re-roll. A 2, they're going to use their second re-roll. A 3, they're going to use the Dice Monger re-roll. And they get a 4, which leaves them 1 away from winning. Is that even on the board? And then we got the Dice Monger. Gets a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That puts them in it. They're in this one, depending on what happens. Oh, shoot. I did the wrong order here. What did I do? I rolled the wrong die for the Dice Monger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go back. Gotta use the right dice. Dice Monger gets a 5 anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's third wheel. Third wheel can win, and they do. Third wheel takes first place, using their third wheel ability perfectly. And that means Genius is up. They're going to roll a 6. They need to get a lot in a row here. Oh, it was a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They need to connect a whole bunch. That gives Magician just needs a 1, and they come in second. So moving on is the third wheel and the Magician out of the tournament. the dice monger, and the genius. Okay, our last race I think should be an interesting one. We got banana. If anyone passes the banana, they trip because they step on the banana peel. Baba Yaga, if they step on anyone's spot or anyone ends on their spot, that person trips. The hare gets a +2 to their roll, to their main move, but then if they're in first when it's their main move, they have to skip their turn. Tortoise and the hare. And the heckler gets to go +2, gets to go to whenever a racer ends their turn within one spot of where they started, which might happen a lot in this one because there's going to be tripping happening. And a guy that, if they're in the lead, can't move. Okay, starting off, banana gets to go first. That's good for them with their ability. And they get a 1. Oh, that's great for them. Baba Yaga goes and gets a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they trip. Because they passed the banana. The hare goes. They get a +2 to theirs, which is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They trip. And then, and the heckler, when banana only went 1, the heckler should have gone 2, and then they trip. And now it's their turn, though, so they untrip, and that was their turn. Banana goes. Banana goes 1, 2. And that's it for banana. Then we got Baba Yaga, untrips. Hare, untrips. And then, when Baba Yaga untripped, heckler should have gone 1, 2, and then tripped, because they passed the banana and ended on Baba Yaga. Then hare didn't move, 1, 2, they're still tripped, and then it's their turn, and they untrip. Banana goes. Only gets a 1. Their power is not going to go off. Thank goodness, everyone says. Then we got the hare gets a +2 to their roll, and they get to go 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did banana only go 1? I think banana only went 1. That would have made heckler go 2. I just rolled a 6 for hare, but it wasn't their turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, poor hare. Baba Yaga rolled a 6. That was Baba Yaga that rolled a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it's hare's turn. They get a +2 to their roll. They get a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then heckler gets to go. I may have messed this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. I may have messed this up where some people were. That's how things go in the wacky races of Magical Athlete. Banana only goes 1 again, which moves heckler 2. Baba Yaga misses the box. Rolls a 2. 1, 2. Lands on the hare, which trips the hare. Then it's the hare's turn. They untrip. They don't move, which moves the heckler 2. And then the heckler goes and has a huge commanding lead going 1, 2, 3, 4. Banana, way in last. They need to start rolling big. 3. That's not going to do it. And Baba Yaga goes and gets a 3. 15. Halfway there. Then we got the hare gets the +2. That's an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how you catch up. And then the heckler goes and gets a 2. Banana. 2 for banana. Lots of 2s. Baba Yaga. A 2 for Baba Yaga. Hare gets a +2 because they're not in first place. And they get an 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then heckler goes. Heckler's power hasn't gone off for a while. They get a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is going to be it, guys. No way these other 2 back in the pack, 1, 2, 3, 4, can catch up. 3 for Baba Yaga. 1, 2, 3. That's not going to do it. Hare gets a +2. That's a 4. They win. And then right behind them is the heckler. Quick, easy race. A lot less chaotic than I thought it would be. I might have screwed up a spot on hare, but it really wouldn't have mattered that much anyways because they just dominated. Hare and heckler. A couple H athletes moving on. Out of the game, say goodbye to Baba Yaga and the banana. Let's see who is moving on to round 2. Recap time. We have the third wheel with the power of roll through. The stickler actually. The skipper, the salty dog. The scoocher, scooch scooch. Legs, the power of jog. Cheerleader with the power of rah-rah. And party animal, animal magnetism. And then our racers that got second place and moving on is the magician with the power of poof. The huge baby with the power of really huge. The romantic with the power of love. The alchemist with the power of transmute and scoot. Flip-flop with the power of flop-flip. Blimp with the power of blow it. And the mastermind with the power of know-it-all. Next time we're going to be pairing off 5 racers in 2 races, and the last race we'll have 6 racers staying on the mild side. We'll flip it over for the finals. We'll see you next time. Okay, everyone, you just saw who's moving on. I just did the recap. Who's moving on to round 2? Round 2 should be exciting. At least 1 more racer in 2 races, and then 2 more races in 1 race. It kind of stinks if you're in that one. It will be random who's in which one. I'm going to try to split up the first places and the second places equally as much as I can. And yeah, and we'll have fun with round 2. See you next time. Peace and stay cool.